In this lesson, we're going to talk about some of the SOLIDWORKS assembly tools that are available. In particular, we'll start out with the interference tool. On this assembly, let's take a look at how many interferences we have. To find the interference tool, go to Tools, Interference Detection. To find all of the interferences in the entire assembly, click on the Calculate button. I'll move this Property Manager back into the Feature Manager area, and you can see that there are 140 interferences within this assembly. Some of these are larger than others. The volume of the interference is listed for each interference. Unfortunately, you can't sort by the size of the volume. If you click on each one, SOLIDWORKS will highlight the interference. So here we've got a nut that is interfering with a tab from the starter, or a wire that's accidentally going through the starter. And here we have something interfering with one of the fins on the motor. So you see, most of these interferences are very small and probably unintentional. However, some of them could also be rather large. In this case, a gear interfering with a cover plate. If you click the plus next to each interference, SOLIDWORKS will show you the components that are involved in that particular interference, and you can also ignore specific interferences. In some cases, you may choose to treat coincidence as an interference because your assemblies typically need a gap between parts for assembly and tolerance issues. SOLIDWORKS now also allows you to do an interference check on a multi-body part. Depending on how your holes and fasteners are modeled, you may also have a lot of interferences that are simply screws going into holes. So you can create a special folder just for fasteners. And you may also choose to ignore hidden bodies or hidden components in the interference detection. So interference detection is a very useful tool, but it's just a static measure of the current state of your assembly. It's not telling you, for example, if the handlebars will run into the gas tank when they are turned past a certain angle. For something like that, we need a different type of assembly tool. For that, we need the Move Component tool. We've already looked at how we can move components, but in this case, I want to use the collision detection. I want to check interference or collision between specific components. In a larger assembly, you will need to narrow it down to some extent. So I want to check interference between this, the gas tank, this, and resume drag. When I move the part, it's free moving until SOLIDWORKS gives a system ding, and then that means it's run into something. The colored face indicates that there's a collision. We can see down here that this part is colliding with the gas tank. So we haven't got much of a range of motion. The gas tank should probably be shortened or moved back in order to facilitate the kind of motion that's needed with this assembly. So this is also a very useful tool when you're working with assemblies with moving parts. Along with this, we also have dynamic clearance. Let's get rid of the collision detection. Dynamic clearance will allow us to get a dimension that shows the distance between a couple of parts. So in this case, we got the tree and the gas tank. So SOLIDWORKS is showing us this dimension that's showing up down here. And we can see it gets very, very small and then disappears when there's an actual interference. So our gas tank is indeed too close to the handlebars. The options are to highlight the faces during collision, which is on by default, the system ding, which is also on by default, and ignore complex faces is there because on some models, a complex face is going to significantly increase the amount of time it takes to calculate this sort of motion. This will in part depend on the computer that you're using, but in some cases, you really need to include the complex faces. If you need to turn that off, just be aware of the information you might be missing.